Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of the BraudCast, where we give you bite-sized bits of best practices to help you be a better leader and a more effective communicator. I'm your host, Jared Braud. Earlier this week, we asked this question and asked your professional opinion: how do you get your executives to buy into the concept of using social media? Based on the premise that many organizations have been using social media for quite some time, some organizations have not yet adopted using social media, and some communicators are still trying to make a case. So for those who are still trying to make the case, what best advice would you give? I found it interesting that it was a discussion this week that was less about the outbound marketing side of social media, which we heard plenty of 5 years ago, and more about the strategic use of social media as an extension of media relations or crisis communications. And here are two examples and two opinions that caught my eye. First, Josh said, it's where the media go first during a crisis, so therefore go to social media to set the tone for them on social media in a crisis. That's an excellent observation. And Aaron says, people are going to talk about your organization on social media anyway, whether you're on it or not. She's asked the question, wouldn't you rather be a part of the discussion and know about the discussion so you can tell your own story on your own social media site? Interesting that both of these deal with the crisis communications and media relations aspects. Long ago, when many people were saying outbound social media is something you have to have, I was one of the sentinels who said, nope, you have to determine if it's the right fit versus the wrong fit, and never try to make it a force fit. I still believe that certain glamorous consumer brands are perfect for social media. Retail brands with shiny merchandise, yes, your consumers love it. But a lot of service brands, it's not necessarily a nice fit. You don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to Instagram to see what my hospital put up today. And you don't go to Facebook to say, wow, I hope my bank gave me great advice today. That's just not how consumers and social media users use social media. But in a crisis, people go there very quickly to get information, especially for those service brands. Utility companies are a perfect example. When the lights go out, when the power is gone, people go to their phone immediately and go to a Facebook page generally, or a Twitter page that they otherwise would never pay any attention to. So hats off to Josh and Aaron for calling out the fact that it is a perfect place for media relations and crisis communications. And I will say this about Twitter: I don't know how or why it is that reporters became so enthralled with Twitter, but that is the fastest way, in many cases, to reach a reporter during a crisis, or even to pitch a story on a positive news day. You can email them, you can text to them, you can phone them, and they may not respond. But you tweet to them, and they respond very rapidly. So for those of you who are trying to make a case as to whether or not some form of social media should be there, you may not have a lot of outbound information on a clear, sunny day. But on those darkest days of your crisis, you may find that it is a very effective tool to add to your toolkit of media relations, employee communications, customer relations, stakeholder information, and information to the outward world. Thanks for participating in the discussion. By the way, these discussions stay online, and what we're seeing is people keep adding their thoughts even after we've given you these observations, and I like that. Keep the discussion going. For the BraudCast, I'm Jared Braud.